Audio is on. Is it turned on?
Yep, it's all on.
Yeah. I thought it's live.
It's like when I was 19.
Hi. Nope.
How did you start
Video
sooner? And he's like
channel.
something year old. I mean, he's probably surpassed 1 million in GCI at this point. That was a couple of years ago.
There you go.
Thank
And
you.
he's usually on
You're
stage.
welcome.
He's
Do you want me to move a table over here or do you want this?
It's so fun. Like, don't you feel like you can do anything?
Okay.
Let's do it
Don't
like
you
that.
feel like you can do anything?
Yeah, some days I guess.
This is what's always welcome about it.
Like it.
So you talk to them a little bit about Monday's Ignite plan, if we, so we may have 0 snow because it's Kentucky.
Right.
But if we have snow, we have an alternative plan for you guys to be able to.
Well, yeah, and you know, the forecast are going to give between 2 inches and 24.
It's 8 to 12 this morning.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like,
Yeah, it must be an inch by the end of the day.
Well, good morning, everyone. Well, it's good night. You guys having a good time so far?
absolutely.
Good. I'm having a great time. I'm actually jealous because I remember getting to be an Ignite student and how like absolutely stoked about all the information I was intaking. And I'd like go home after Ignite and I would like say to my husband, I learned this and I learned this and I learned this, and he'd be like, okay. Cause like real estate's not his thing, right?
Right.
And I would be so excited about it, and it got to the point that some of my friends that were in Ignite with me, we on Friday afternoons would then go to like a local little like sports bar, and we talk about everything we've learned for the week in Ignite, because none of our spouses wanted to hear it. Like all of them were like over us, doing the same thing. I'm gonna close the store so you don't get distracted, all right? So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Beth. I am the proximity coach here. I've been in real estate for about 11 years, and well, it'll be 11 years next month. But one of the reasons I love real estate is because I do think it's the greatest industry in the world. I do think that we have untapped potential in this industry. But more than anything, I think this is one of the only industries you can work in that the amount of money you make is in direct correlation to how much effort you put out. Okay, and no one ever gets to tell you how much money you're worth. Right? So many times in our lives we go in and we interview for jobs and somebody says, well, I think your value is X, Y, and Z numbers, right? And you go, okay, I guess that's what I'm worth. Not you. We get to make that decision, okay? And this is why when I show up every day, I give 100% when I'm here, okay? And if you take nothing out of our Ignite time together, I hope that you take out that you have that direct control, and if you give 100%, they'll make 100% of the money you want to make. It's truth, okay? So same for today, I'm gonna give you guys 100%. You give me 100% in return, we're gonna have a great time. If not, it's gonna be real darn boring. Alright. So first and foremost, want you guys to take a look up here. You should have worked on your action plan last night. Anybody work on their action plans last night? Did you have homework last night? You should have had some stuff that you were supposed to complete, things like
Daily successes.
yeah, there you go. How'd it go? Yeah, that's it? Nothing exciting, just you did the thing, you checked it off, moved on? How about you guys, did you successes some done?
What you did? Oh, the post, the little marketing update post or whatever.
Oh, okay, how'd it go?
It good, I guess. I just did it this morning, so it's not.
Okay, how many likes you got on it? How many raving fans are we creating?
Let me see, probably, I mean, I just started Facebook, so. We shall see.
One of the
I
things
have
that,
4 likes, 1 share. Gosh. Yeah.
Awesome.
okay, so you went from having 0 people on social media to 6 interactions in how many hours?
I posted it at like maybe 5, 6 this month.
Okay. That's about an interaction an hour you're getting at that point,
Oh, okay.
right? So. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. Right? A lot of times we look at posting on social media as this necessary evil of real estate. When in all actuality, it simply is a system to be working for you so you don't have to work constantly. She is lead generating over the last 6 hours. She's been lead generating while she's been sitting here. Not actively lead generating, right?
Can I ask you a question for you?
Yeah, of course.
Now I have a page that's like my personal. Should I create like a business?
That is completely up to you. Okay, so some people are gonna tell you yes, other people are gonna say you should be posting about your business on your personal page as well. Okay. And in fact, when I first started in real estate 11 years ago, everyone, in fact, they had me teaching classes on how to create a professional business page and do all of your business on a business page. And now, as social media has become more mainstream, what is happening is people want to see all parts of your life all in one place. So if you own a business, they want to see that in your personal feed. Okay, now there's an 80-20 rule about this. Okay, 80% of a personal feed should be just that, personal things about your life, and 20% of it can be business. If you have a personal feed and all you post is business, they're going to think you're a robot. It's going to become white noise. Eventually, you'll become annoying, and they will unfollow you. Okay. People want to interact with people they know, like, and trust.
I will say this if I can. I own a cleaning business, right? So we have a Facebook page and an Instagram page. But yet I'll get more movement when I make a post on that and then I share it to my personal page. My friends and stuff, some of them follow me out of being because they're my friend, they think they're helping my business.
Yeah.
Move the algorithms a little bit, but however, most of them share what I share on my personal page.
Yeah, and if we stop thinking about social media as much as a marketing or advertising piece and start thinking of it more as storytelling, because that's really what it should be, right? You're gonna find a lot more success with what you post. So, as a part of the productivity coaching program, the workout of the day for today is just that. It is creating a video of a day in your life as a brand new real estate agent. What that looks like.
Because I was thankful about that.
Yeah, what that looks like. And then when you post that, right, the key is to engage, because the more you engage, the more you show up on other people's feeds. Right? So, but that's on the Facebook page, the Facebook group.
Okay.
All right, so today, we are gonna discuss the value proposition. Do you guys know what a value proposition is? Okay, well, we're gonna talk about. I'm skipping over some of the stuff because they have lots of the words in it that I don't think are 100% necessary. Let's begin with what a value proposition is. So, your value proposition is a unique and memorable and persuasive statement that expresses the true value of working with you. Right? Knowing what your skills and strengths are and what you bring to the table will bring you confidence. And when you're confident, people are willing to work with you. That's just the bottom line. I always say that these dogs and customers can smell fear. All right? It's truth. All right. So as long as you believe in what you're doing, you're going to be able to hit the ground running. But if you can't articulate why they should work with you, they'll find someone else who can. All right. So, like I said, it needs to be unique, memorable, and persuasive. It should address the specific and special needs of your buyers and sellers in your market and state what you will do for the client to earn your commission. All right, so there's been lots of conversations around commissions, right? Our industry has had this battle for years, long before the NAR settlement happened, alright? I can tell you when I started in this business, people were having conversations about buyer brokerage agreements then. Okay, we are still having the same darn conversation 11 years later. Okay, and the conversation that's being had has only changed in one way. And that is that before, the buyer brokerage agreement was about loyalty for the customer to work with you, and now it is a buyer commission agreement about agreeing about the number. Either way, you have to earn trust. Either way, you have to earn the money. What often happens and why we face opposition when we're having that conversation, is because we don't tell them how we earn it, we just tell them what we want. Right? So if we say, well, I work for 3%, right here, that's what I work for. They're gonna go, okay, pound sand, why should I give you that? Right? So we've got to talk to them about why we earn that commission and what we're gonna do. And we can't just tell them what we're gonna do, we have to follow that up and, actually do that thing. Right? Alright, it also holds you accountable to high standards, a value proposition does. A value proposition is kind of like a promise that you're making to your customer and saying, this is who I am, here's how I'll show up, and here's what you'll get from it. Okay. Right, so our value propositions show up in the Y4C2TEs. And if you are new to Keller Williams, you don't know what those are. Those are our belief system here at Keller Williams. Okay. So for instance, the W is win-win, win-win or no deal. And that's how we do our business every single day. And that's an example of how your value proposition could align with our belief system. You ensure that all who are involved in each real estate transaction will have the best possible outcome, you include, right? Win-win or no deal. Or the C in the Y4C2Ts is customers always come first. So you prioritize the understanding of your client's needs because buying a home is one of the most expensive purchases they'll ever make. Once again, it's showing alignment with what we do. And so if they ever have to question, if they ever question you, you can say it's not just me, it's our whole company, and here's what we believe in. Okay. Also, one of the C's is commitment in all things. And that's another way that your value proposition could align. Okay. So why do you think it is important to define your value proposition? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else?
It shows confidence in who you are.
Yeah, for sure. And I think of it like an elevator pitch, right? When we're young and we're first going into like the workforce, I don't know if your parents or people that you trusted had that conversation with you of you win people over in an interview in about the first 30 seconds. So what you say in that first 30 seconds better mean something. I mean, I know my dad basically took me by the shoulders and shook me to get that into my brain. The very first job I ever had, I worked at a plant nursery. I worked and they sold a type of fertilizer, and they needed somebody for the summer to put the fertilizer into bags, staple the bags closed, load them on the semi trucks for them to be distributed. Well, that fertilizer was called Dairy Dew. And I guess you could probably guess what I did that whole summer. Never been in better shape in my entire life as my 16-year-old self, literally shadowing all summer. But I wanted so badly to get that job because it was one of the highest paying jobs for someone my age in my town. Okay, So my dad and I, we sat down and the first thing that he said was, you gotta tell them why they should hire you over anybody else. Okay? So it says top agents can easily explain the services they will provide to anyone who hires them. And
So let me ask you, what did you take away from that experience?
well, that I certainly didn't want to ever shovel food again in my life. But also I took away from that experience that hourly work wasn't for me. Because I would get in trouble, because I figured out a way to get most of my work done in about the first 4 hours of my 8-hour shift. I would work real fast, I would get it done, and then I would get in trouble for talking to my friends and hanging out. And I wasn't working. And they said, well, then you should go home. And I said, so I should be punished and not be paid for those hours because I figured out how to do it faster. I also realized that efficiency is one of my core values. Okay. I learned really quickly that I valued my time. And if other people didn't value my time, I didn't have time for that.
Right.
I can tell you that. Okay. But I took that onto a lot of different careers. All right, so the benefits of a value proposition. Having a value proposition benefits your business in all of these ways. It's so that you can make their real estate experience better. Okay, it helps your clients understand what they're paying for. And your value proposition, like I said, is your promise to your clients. It's helping to build those strong and trusting relationships. So next we're going to look at some value proposition examples from large companies. So after looking at these, I'm going to ask, what makes these value propositions successful? Take a minute, read them over. And what do you think makes these successful? Airbnb exists to create a world where anybody can belong anywhere, providing healthy travel that is local, authentic, diverse, inclusive, and sustainable. Walmart, everyday low prices for a broad range of goods that are always in stock in convenient geographic locations. Do you guys know what Slack is? Slack is a inter-office like communication system. Think of it like instant messenger. Okay. For those of us that are real old, it's like ICQ, right? Where we could like instant message real fast. Slack makes it downright pleasant to work together. Grammarly, great writing, simplified. Compose bold, clear, mistake-free writing with Grammarly's AI-powered writing assistant. QuickBooks, send invoices in minutes and get paid 2 days faster. State Farm, here to help life go right. So what do you think makes these successful?
I think they're all kind of general, but yet personal at the same time, like it can apply to anybody, but you really feel like it applies to you specifically.
Yeah, it's client-centered language, right? So when you're creating your value proposition, I want you to think of that, because we're going to do that as an exercise later today, all right? But think about the way it's worded. It's client-centered language, okay? What else do these tell us?
What they do.
Yeah. They show that that there was a problem and that they're solving it. Right? So there was a challenge that was posed, and they're gonna help you overcome it. Okay. What else do they tell us? What message are they sending?
Make our lives easier.
Yeah. Absolutely. They explain either directly or indirectly through implication, right? Maybe not right there, but real close. We're gonna make life go right. Okay? Through implication, why they're different from the competition. What is State Farm implying here?
That other insurance agencies.
Don't make life go right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's exactly right. Other insurance companies make your life more complicated. That's what the message that they're sending. But they just figured out how to send it in a really short sentence. So when you're writing your value proposition, it doesn't have to be long, elaborate. It shouldn't take more than a minute to 30 seconds, right? And you should be able to get that entire message across. And in fact, the less words, the better. Because I don't know that Airbnb's is any better than State Farm's. Airbnb could have just said to me, Airbnb exists to make travel better. And I would have went, yeah, okay, I believe you. Okay. This is one of those cases where more is not better. In some cases in life, more is better. This is not one of those. Okay. All right. So connect to your value. We talked about market center values, but I want you to ask yourself, how does being a part of the Keller Williams family help your value proposition or bolster your value proposition? So think about some of the things that we provide, right? What do we provide that could strengthen your value proposition? Training, absolutely. What else? Yeah, technology, right? Right? So with Command, we can streamline your whole transaction. We can communicate with you seamlessly. We have to use all technology, right? That's always the kicker, though, right? If we use it all, we implement it all, we act on it all. Okay. So, how does your value proposition relate to serving as a fiduciary for your customers? You know, as realtors, we're their fiduciary. So, how does your value proposition relate to serving as a fiduciary?
I think credibility.
Yeah, credibility. Okay. And you're placing their interests above all else, right? Okay. So, how does being a market expert add to your value proposition? Yeah. You've got your finger on the pulse of what's happening in the market. Right? So that is also value that's being added there. So what other knowledge, attitude, skills, beliefs do you possess that will make you stand out as an agent? This is not a hypothetical. Tell me what you have. What attitudes, knowledge, beliefs do you possess that's going to make you stand out? Calm demeanor. All right. What else?
Friendly,
Friendly.
open to client.
Okay. What else? Anybody in here bilingual? Don't you think that would add a huge value to your clients? All right, that should probably be your value proposition. Okay.
Being involved in the community, like knowing local businesses and local people.
Yeah. If you are born and raised here, that's absolutely a value. this Florida kid, I'm new here, okay? I'm surprised y'all let me sit down for lunch with you, okay?
I'm surprised we do. Sometimes it can be very cliquish and like.
It really, like I said, I was here for 18 months and one of my friends in Florida said to me, she's like, so, you know, I probably have all these friends in Florida, in Kentucky, and I was laughing at her, I was like, you have to understand, they don't have the same friends since kindergarten. Okay, no, don't have a ton of friends yet, and that is because
It's so hard.
this is the smallest mid-sized city I've ever lived in, if that makes any sense.
And it's hard to break into the community, which is where a realtor can very help.
That's right,
It's breaking into that community.
well, and here's the thing, is if somebody is buying here in Lexington, if you are a Lexingtonian. Maybe that is part of your value proposition is you can help them break into the community. Right? And that is of huge value. Okay? All right, so let's look at some possible ways that you can charge up your value propositions with what we've already learned about. So with KW and Market Center Value, I have access to a collective knowledge and experience of nearly 200,000 agents here worldwide. Holy cow, that's huge. Could you imagine if you're moving here to Lexington for the first time from out of the country? And you go, I need to find an expert. And somebody says, I might be new to real estate and, by the way, words matter, right? I might be new to real estate and I have access to the collective knowledge and experiences of nearly 200,000 agents worldwide. This is not a lie. We are not blowing smoke up their butts. Okay, this is fact. Okay, and that's part of your value. You're a fiduciary. I can point you to reputable resources for service providers such as handymen, window washers, tax associates, and financial advisors. If you go, wait a second, Beth, I don't know any of those. Cool. We've done that work for you, by the way. We have allied business partners that we have already vetted for this market center. If you don't know who they are, they're on the wall over there. All right, I'll show it to you guys later, just past Tara's office. They're already vetted. So a lot of times we build up a story in our head that as new agents or maybe even relaunching, as I like to call them, agents, right? Maybe you had a career in real estate before, you took some time off, you're coming back and you're like, I'm so out of the loop, I don't know who these people are. We did the work for you. Take a deep breath. Okay. And as a market expert, I can help you price your home to sell because I'm very tuned in the market of the moment. Okay. So what are some ahas that you guys took away from that? What are some ahas that y'all took away from that?
The fact that you guys already have, I guess,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yes, we've got all of them. Don't worry about it. We've got movers, we've got handymen, we've got somebody that will redo your garage. They talked to us at the team meeting the other day. Okay, we've got everything.
So I like you said, words matter, and you said and, not but, and then last night I was meeting with a family, I said, I'm new, but I have all these resources, and it would have been better to say I'm new and.
Right. If we start taking a moment to really look at the words that we use, we're going to notice very quickly that oftentimes we position ourselves in a power differential. Okay. What I mean by that is by using language like but, we put ourselves in a position to plant a seed in them that we don't know what we're doing. Okay, we don't realize we're planting those seeds. Okay, Another one that I hear people say is sometimes they'll say things like, you know, we're working on this transaction and it's going so terribly, or I'm so frustrated with it. If every time in your life you wait to use the word frustrated and instead switch that word out for fascinated, because truly, if you learned more about it, you probably wouldn't be frustrated, right? How we approached finding a solution would be far more effective, right? So instead of saying, I'm really frustrated with getting my kitchen redone, instead, if you said, I'm really fascinated with learning about getting my kitchen redone.
We'll say motivate, motivated.
Yeah, those words matter, guys.
Do.
They matter because we're also listening to our own words, right? We're listening to our own messaging. And your customer's listening to the messaging, it's gonna show up in the words that you write. All of it.
My aha moment, if that's an ad.
Yes.
We're not just selling hands. We're a profit, we're a lot of different hands. Same time as we talk about, what our value proposition, what our fiduciary is, what our value. We're there to just, we're there.
Yeah. Well, I always say that real estate's an interesting career because while people think that we are in the business of helping people buy and sell houses, from the outside, that's what it looks like. What we're actually doing is selling ourselves. We are the service package that is being sold. Right? And if we can't articulate the value of our own service package, no one should work with us. Right? Why would they? Okay. So let's talk about what matters most. All right, the purpose of real estate. Understanding what buyers and sellers want out of their real estate experience is not complex, and the purpose of real estate is different for buyers and sellers. I think we can all agree with that statement, right? So for buyers, in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, for buyers, their goal is to find just the right home at the best price in the right time with the least number of problems. And if you are an MREA junkie like me, and want to highlight that in your book, that is on page 90 in the MREA. Okay. For sellers, their goal is to net the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time with the least number of problems. So what happens to your client's buying or selling experience if you don't understand the purpose of real estate for each one of them? Right. Yeah, it confuses them. There's a lack of clarity. And we know that when we have clarity, there's power in clarity. And when there's also a lack of clarity, it can make us feel emotional. Right? And when we feel emotional, a lot of times we retreat from what's making us feel that way. So this is why when I say clarity is power, it really is. Okay. All right. So the top 10 service areas of the buyer value proposition. So we're going to cover all these service areas in more detail, but I just wanted you to take a second to look at them. Okay. So when we are working with a buyer, these are the actual steps and the things that we take on and that we have to articulate to them that we are taking on all of these. Okay. Needs analysis, pre-qualification or pre-approval. Am I actually doing the pre-qualification or pre-approval? No, a lender is. Am I facilitating that? Yes. Okay. Neighborhood information. I'm just compiling this, right? Home search. Once again, I'm just setting them up on this, right? Helping them make an offer. I'm not making an offer, right? I'm just writing that up. And those contracts were already written for me. Right? Negotiating to buy. Can I find a piece of technology that's gonna do that for me? What piece of technology will negotiate for you?
Oh, no.
That's right. Of all of these, the only one that is solely up to us, and we are the only ones that can do it, is that piece. Negotiating. Because vendor coordination, I mean, they could go to Google if they really wanted to, right? We're gonna compile it for them. Pre-closing preparation, an attorney or a title company is gonna help with that as well. Closing is gonna be handled by that attorney or title company. And in most cases, realtors skip this whole piece right here, post-closing. It's facts. They get their paycheck, they hand them the keys and they walk away. And they never talk to that customer again. That's just the stats. So of all of these things here, of the top 10 service areas of the buyer value proposition, the most important one is negotiating. AI is never going to be able to do that for us. Okay, now let's look at the top 10 service areas of a seller proposition. The needs analysis. We are also the only ones that can do that. Okay? A pricing strategy. We are the only ones who can do that. Okay? Property preparation. We know what the standards are as market experts in our market. We're the only ones that can help them do that. Marketing strategy. Once again, we're the only ones that can do that. Okay? So this is why if you're ever in my coaching program, you are going to hear me get real frustrated with you. If you say to me, I took a listing for this super duper low commission rates. And I will go, why? You are the only one that can do all of these things that bring value to this transaction. Why would you undervalue your service? Well, I took it for 1% because they're going to buy later and what? That's the easy part. Why aren't you getting paid on the hard stuff? Right? This is the one that takes actual talent, guys, right here. Okay. Now, receiving an offer. Right? We look at that. What if we get multiple offers though? Who can help them determine which offer is best for them? Only their fiduciary consultant can do that. That's you. Okay? Negotiating, once again, we're the only ones that can do that too. And truly, selling the house, anybody can do that. Okay? Title company's gonna help with this, title company or attorneys, and once again, most realtors drop the ball on this too. We are the only ones that can provide value post-closing. So, once again, if you're gonna be taking things away from this today, do not undercut yourself in your value when you are taking a listing. You work too darn hard for that. Okay? So what buyers want most from their agent? I think that this is a really cool slide. Okay, so this is from data from the 2001 report from the National Association of Realtors. If you guys don't know, the National Association of Realtors puts out a report like this every year. If you go to their website right now, you can see the one. I think they actually just printed 2024's data because it took them all 25 to compile it. Got it? Okay. So, what buyers want most from their agent? help to find the right home to purchase, 52%. 52% of buyers say that is the number one thing they want from their agent. Okay. Number 2 is 13% help buyers negotiate the terms of the sale. They value your negotiating skills. And unfortunately, not nearly as much as they value this piece of it. So we have struggled here, right? If I said that this is the only thing that we can do, and only we can do when it comes to being a buyer's representative, then we have to really focus on how do we make them see that this is actually more important than this piece. Right? So help with the price negotiation, 11%. Right here. Okay. The terms of the sale is more important to them. So what's the difference between terms of the sale and like a price negotiation? What are the terms of a sale?
I think it's a keep in the home or like things like that.
When the closing date's gonna be? How long the inspection period's gonna be? Do they get to keep patio furniture? Is the seller gonna put money in escrow for them in case the AC goes out in the first 3 months? I say that because that actually happens. I bought a house in May, and my AC went out in June.
I've had it happen with this.
$10,000 later, I learned a real lesson that I should have asked for that. I didn't.
I bought a house and asked for it, but home warranty piece.
Yeah.
They didn't give it to me.
Oh, I got the home warranty, but it cost me $10,000 for an
Still
AC.
cost you.
Home warranty gave me 2. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, our heat went out and it's.
$2,000. Like,
Yeah, 48 hours of closing, it was freezing in our.
oh, it's crazy, isn't it?
Oh my God.
So notice here that 24% is other. Okay, so under other is helps with paperwork. Determines what comparable homes are selling for. Determine how much a home a buyer can afford. To help find and arrange financing. Okay. By the way, all of this, like helps with paperwork, is about 8% of this. Okay. So when I have realtors also that are buyers representatives who are working with like 10 buyers at once and they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off and they're showing houses left and right, and they also think they are the only ones that can shuffle the papers. We get to have a real hand-holdy conversation where I hold both of their hands and I go, they don't care if you do the papers. I promise you they don't. They really don't care. And they're gonna go, but I'm the only one that can do all this paper pushing, right? It's wrong. Because if you're a successful real estate agent, odds are really good that your skill set actually isn't in the paperwork. Believe it or not, if you're a great real estate agent that's that busy, your skill set is with people and not with paper. Okay, so this is where we're gonna have a real strong conversation about leverage. Okay, but once again, as a coach, that's my job. I get to have the hand-holding conversations. They'll only be mad at me for a little bit, then they get over it when they realize it's right. Okay, help teach buyer more about the neighborhood area. 2%. That's 2% of that other. So when people say to me, well, I'm new to the area. I couldn't possibly sell anything in Lexington because I'm new to the area and I don't know anything about. They don't care. They don't care. They literally don't care if you're new to the area. They don't care if you've lived here for 5 minutes or 5 years. What they care about though is if you can make them feel like part of the community. Right? We talked about that earlier. Helping them break into the community. That's what they care about. They actually don't care about it. Okay. Another one is I get a lot of new agents who are working with buyers who go, wow, these people have come to me looking for a rental, so I'm gonna help them with a rental. And then maybe they'll help me find a buyer later. Like they'll tell their friends and their friends will wanna buy it, or they'll decide they wanna buy down the road. Less than 1% of respondents said that had any value whatsoever. Stop wasting your time with renters. Okay, I'm off that soapbox. Okay. So keep in mind, these are the results from buyers being asked to state the one thing that's most important to them. So think about the skills or services that you offer that align with what buyers want. And now take a minute and I want you, now that you know what buyers want, this is what they want from their agent. Write in your participant guide, right in front of you, or write it down on a piece of paper in front of you at least. What skills or services you offer that align with this. Because that's going to be part of your value proposition. Okay, what did you guys write down? Shout it out. What do you got?
Like our state.
Yeah, what did you have that aligns with
I put on
this?
checklist creator. I feel like to find the perfect thing is to create a perfect checklist.
So a system.
Yes.
You're a systems person. Correct? There's a lot of realtors that are not systems people. They're the people, I like to call them, they're the sticky note people.
I like them too.
And you'll know who those realtors are. They're gonna be the people that you ask them for a piece of information and they're gonna go, hold on a minute. They're looking for the little piece of paper where they've written someone's name on the front and some scribble on the back and they're trying to like figure out what it says. Yeah. Or they go to get out of their car at an appointment. I actually had this happen. I cannot make it up, it was this absurd. So I went to a listing appointment and there was a line of us. This seller had a line of us that he was interviewing. Okay. The girl walking out, I knew her, and she's dressed to the nines, right? She's got pencil skirt, high heels, perfect hair, she's doing the whole thing, and she looked good as heck, all right? She was killing it. I'm standing there dressed like me, because I am me, and this is what you get. Okay? I'm mother of a 9-year-old, and you're lucky that this had peanut butter on it earlier. I had to wash it off. Okay. So like this is what you get from me. So I'm already feeling a little like, oh my gosh, I'm in my head about this. This girl's killing it. I'm doing terrible. You're gonna get what you get, right? And she had a big smile on her face as she was walking out of the front door. And she goes, "You're gonna do great." And I went, "Thank you." Like competition. She goes, "At least better than her." And I turned around and there was a girl getting out of her car. She was gonna be the next one in line to interview with this guy for the job. And as she was getting out of the car, like fast food bags were falling out, papers were falling out. She didn't even have her shoes on. She was putting them on as she was going. I was like, oh my god, it's a much better chance now. But I had a system to have my stuff together, organized, and to at least get there early enough that I wasn't the girl scrambling. I said, if I can provide nothing else, it's that I'm not gonna scramble. Right? Because if that's the energy you carry into a listing appointment, well, what are you telling them that the rest of the transaction is gonna look like? But these are the people that are like, this is how I've been doing business for 40 years, and this is how I'm just gonna keep doing business, and it's fine. That's so stressful. Absolutely nothing, Joe.
I cleaned my car out yesterday.
Well, and I used to have a real estate team. I was a rainmaker on a team, and I had 2 buyers agents. And I was told them they were never allowed to have customers ride in their car. I mean, there's a safety reason behind that, there's an insurance reason behind that, but more than anything, I couldn't trust the backseat of their car was clean. Because, but
Months.
we all have crazy lives, right? And I always ask them, because I had had that listing experience, by the way, one of the standards on our team was at least the front seat of your car needs to be tidy at all times. And so one of the girls on my team, Junie, she was very sweet, but like she would literally, I watched her one day. She didn't realize I was at the same car wash as her, but she was only vacuuming out the front seat of the car. And I was like, Junie, it's weird. She's like, you told me only this time I'm gonna be clean. I'm like, should clean the rest, and here we are. Okay.
Oh, you're funny.
All right, so let's talk about factors buyers value when choosing you as an agent. We tell ourselves a lot of stories about this, right? But the number one thing that they value that is trustworthiness. How many times have you told yourself, I'm a new agent, I'll never get the deal? Or these people won't work with me, I'm new. I have no experience. We tell ourselves that, right? It's the message we tell ourselves, they don't care. I don't make the rules, they don't care. They don't care. They care that you're honest and trustworthy. Behind that is your experience. Then your reputation. And if you're, once again, an agent in my coaching program, you're gonna hear me talk about reputation a lot. And I say, yeah, you can take that listing. I had this conversation with you. You can absolutely take that listing. And do you want the reputation of taking the listing that's never gonna sell? That's $50,000 overpriced. Because people value your reputation. If your picture is in the front yard of the stigmatized property in the house, in the neighborhood. Where I started my business was in Claremont, Florida, which is right outside of Orlando. And there was one brokerage in particular. I mean, I swear every rundown, like crack house in greater Orlando area had their sign in the front yard. That was their reputation. And when no one else would take the listing, they knew they could go to that brokerage would take it. That's the reputation. They also had the reputation of being very, very difficult to ever get a hold of. That's all. Communication's a whole nother, right? But understand that reputation matters. Because I remember having a conversation with one of the agents from that brokerage one day. We were at a Realtor Association of Lake and Sumter County meeting. And she said, I saw your listing over in Waterbrook and it is gorgeous. And I said, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And she goes, I just wonder why I can't get listings like that. And I wanted to be like, because you're at the brokerage that's known for selling the tract houses. Okay? No one's going to even interview you. Reputation matters. Okay? Reputation matters. Okay, so if we look up here, other is the biggest portion of this. So encompassing an other is that an agent is a friend or a family member. Agent's knowledge of the neighborhood. Agent seems 100% accessible. Is active in the local community or volunteerism. Agent's association with a particular firm or professional designations held by the agent. Oh my goodness, don't get me on soapboxes about professional designations. Yes, get the education, but if all you're doing is getting the education for the 3 letters behind your name, save your money. Do not do it. If you're going to get education to implement something to actually further your business, fantastic. If you're only doing it for the 3 letters behind your name, why? Why would you do that? Makes no sense. It literally doesn't help you. Okay? Yeah.
If talking about designation, which one do you think is where like you must say
the one you're gonna use,
Does it,
that's it,
Does it CIM?
Whatever you're gonna use. If you're gonna actually point your business in that direction and pivot your business in that direction, then the education and the designation matters. But if you're going to get that designation, throw the 3 letters behind your name, print it on every business card, point it out to every person you talk to, and then never sell a house to a person that associates with ever again, you've actually lost my respect. Period. Doesn't matter. Okay. Alright, so factors buyers value when choosing an agent. What were some ahas about this?
I think the 100% accessibility.
Yeah.
You know, is a key takeaway for me.
Yeah.
Um,
But notice that is in the other category, right? And when I look at the actual percentage of that is only 4% of this. That's only 4%. So you don't actually have to be 100% accessible all the time. That's a myth. It is okay to have a business and, wait for it, run it like a business. With like business hours and days off. I know this is like controversial in real estate, all right, for me to say this. This is super controversial. But literally, the purpose of our business is to fund the perfect life. And if you have no life, why do you have a business? You can have all the money in the world, and if you've got no time to spend it, what's it matter?
Already set boundaries with clients.
Right, and we teach people how to treat us, right?
Agents and agents too.
Yeah, we teach people how to treat us. We set unrealistic expectations and then are mad when the customer holds us to them. When we say to them when we first meet, you can just give me a call anytime you want. I'll get right back to you, okay? I'm here for you, anything you need. And now they're calling going, Beth, could you stop and pick up my dry cleaning on the way to that appointment?
Can you wake me up?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, your kids go to the same school as mine. Can you just pick up my kids and bring them to this appointment and we'll all meet together? No. No, absolutely, I cannot.
The funny thing is, I mean, really, is people will do stuff like that.
No, that was not an exaggeration. I actually had a customer who her kids went to the same school as my son when I was living in Orlando. And we were supposed to be meeting at my office, and she said, I'm seeing how long the pickup line is. There was no busing to our school. Understand, you had to sit in the kid pickup line. She said, I'm gonna call the school and tell them that my kids can be released with you. Can you just bring your kids to when you're bringing your son to the meeting, right? And I said, yeah. She said, well, can you just pick up my kids and bring them too? No.
Liability insurance.
What made you think I was your nanny? Like, when we are living and we're in, understands that Central Florida is the land of everybody had a nanny that did the pickups and drop offs. I was like, oh my god, she has confused me for the nanny. I don't know how I got here. Yeah.
I'm in my former life, I was a counselor, and I never ceased to be amazed at what people ask for or do or demand. Especially if they're gonna pay you a commission, then you owe them.
Yeah.
And
What always blows my mind is like right with business owners. Just like you go to the dentist, right? I would never call my dentist or text my dentist at 4:30 in the morning. I literally got a text at 4:30 in the morning. 4:30 in the morning. Hey, sorry, I can't sleep, but I'm gonna send you these 5 houses. Can you look these up for me and tell me which ones you think I should look at?
as if you weren't asleep at 4:03.
Yeah, so my phone dings and I looked at it and I didn't get back to them. 9 a.m. rolls around, I pick up the phone and I call the customer and I say, hey, just want to let you know, I just saw your text message. I'm happy to look over those properties for you and I'll I'll pull any tax information on them and I'll send them your direction. And he was like, you're just now looking at them? I sent them hours ago. And I had to apologize. I said, I am so sorry. I think I owe you an apology. He said, why do you say that? And I said, because I've clearly set a misrepresented expectation. That's my fault. I was not clearer.
Yeah, big boundary.
My business hours are from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. On Saturdays, I work from 10 to 2, and on Sundays, it is appointment only. I will respond to text messages after hours if I see them, and I will respond to emails the next business day. Can I be any clearer? Well, I didn't know you were a part-time realtor. Well, excuse me, what?
Oh, wow.
I screwed up though. I didn't set that boundary from the beginning. That was my bad, right? And I had to own that. So from that moment forward, my voicemail on my phone even changed to state those business hours. If you are calling me outside of my business hours, which are Monday through Friday, from 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., like I rattled the whole thing off, then I will get back to you the next business day. Your call is important to me. I added that into my buyer presentation, I added that into my listing presentation, and from that point forward, never had a problem. Never had a problem. Clear boundaries, words matter, what we say matters, right? And we do not have to be on 100% of the time. Okay, what sellers want most from their agent. All right, so this is pretty interesting, right? This one is far less unbalanced. Okay. But what did we learn before about listing a property? We learned that listing a property, we provide a lot of value in that, right? There's a ton of things that we do that only we can do when listing a property. This shows that very clearly that our sellers recognize that. Okay, so 21% is help price the home competitively. So if you don't know how to price a home, or you struggle with things like comparative market analysis, or having a comparative market analysis that's easy for a consumer to read, right? Because sometimes we make them, but I've seen people do them like in Excel and it sense to their little numbers brain, but like people like me with a theater degree, I have no idea what you're doing. Okay. That should be one of your focuses going into your learning. Right? So when you're looking at that training calendar and going, how do I spend my time? How do I spend my time? If I go to every single one of these classes, I'm going to be up to my ears in classes and never be able to do the work. These are the things that we need to focus on, right? This is something people care about. You need to learn how to price homes. Okay? Help sellers market the home to potential buyers. So for people who are like, oh, I don't want to use social media, I hate it, it doesn't work for my business. Guess what? You do it. Because it's part of a marketing plan. Excuse me, 1 second. It is part of a marketing plan, and it's the best way to be successful. Because it's the cheapest, quickest way to get the most amount of eyes on the property. Help sell the home within a specific time frame. Systems. That is systems. That's what that speaks to. Right? Because without systems, we don't know how long things should take to know where we've got to change our course. Right? It's not repeatable. Okay. And at 16%, we have help the seller find ways to fix up to sell it for more. once again, this is understanding that 3 things sell homes. Price, condition, and location. That's it, guys. It ain't hard. That's it. If the home's not selling, the price has gotta change. Or the condition has to change for what it's priced at. Cause I can't pick up and move a house. Right? The location is fixed. That's the magic. That's the whole thing. You're probably all thinking, gosh, I just learned that in real estate school, okay? But what much quicker. But like literally that's the special sauce. It's price, condition, and location. Right? Now, in the other category, we have help find a buyer for the home. So a lot of times we think that when we take a listing, we have to do the open houses and stand in the open houses. Because we think that our seller is expecting us to find a buyer for their home. They're not. They're not. They don't expect that. Okay? They expect you to market the home, they expect you to price it competitively, they expect you to do all of those other things. But very few people actually expect you to bring a buyer for that house. Okay? Which is why you'll see some of the top agents have other people do their open houses. It's not worth their time. They're gonna go get another listing while that's happening. Okay?
Good question.
Yeah.
So would you say that, more seasoned agents, they prefer to list versus, doing the buyers?
I want you to think about this for a moment. If I am a top agent in a market center, and let's say my ceiling of achievement is somewhere around 60 units a year. Let's say I can sell 60 houses in a year. Could you think about the amount of time and effort it would take it to having 60 buyers? How many homes the average buyer looks at about 3 to 5 homes, which means you've got to drive to 3 to 5 different places before buyers hem and haw and decide about financing and da, da, da. Could you imagine doing that 60 times in a year?
And that would be it.
You could take 60 listings in a month.
Really?
Easily. And you could sit at your desk and never have to leave. Okay.
Because you don't really think about,
Yeah.
that till you're sitting there, but then,
You've got a list to last in this business. So listen, is there a value to being a solely a buyer's agent? Absolutely. Right? I have found that really successful buyer's agents have really great systems in place, typically, and they have the patience of saints. They're naturally happy-go-lucky, nothing bothers them people. I learned really quickly that for me, particularly, like I said, I was in Central Florida, it was about 9,000 degrees, 85% of the time. It's like living on the surface of the sun. And I'm walking into homes. A lot of them in Central Florida around Disney are short-term rentals. So they're not the best maintained properties. Okay. And there's even a large portion of them that sit empty for most of the year. So they're musty and stinky and ugh. And when I first got my real estate license in February of 2015, I was all in real estate. Like I was really excited. I did my ignite, and hit the ground running, and then found out I was pregnant in May. So when I was first getting started, my first trimester, I was actually a high-risk pregnancy, so I was on bed rest my first trimester. So my second trimester, like really when that morning sickness is like really kind of taking over, now is when I'm out showing houses. Pregnant as can be. I was literally puking in front yards. Okay. I learned really quickly I needed to list houses. If I was gonna make it in this business. So, buyers are a great place to start, and your goal should always be taking a listing. Which is why that follow-up piece is so important if you are working with the buyer. That way, if they ever go to sell, you're the agent they call. Okay? You wanna be their agent for the life. All right. So factors sellers consider when choosing an agent. Factors sellers consider when choosing an agent. What does this graph say to you?
I think it's similar to the same factors for the buyers.
So what they want most from their agent is different. But what they consider when choosing an agent is very much the same. In terms of, they want to make sure you're a good person. Right? They don't want to work with like skeezy people. So many people, when they get into real estate, they're like, I don't know, it makes me really uncomfortable. I just don't want to be a yucky salesman. Then hear me out. Don't be gross. It's real easy. Okay? Just do the job, come from a place of contribution and value, and no one will think you're gross. Okay? Super simple. They also take into account here, though, you're going to see that an agent is a friend or a family member is on here. Why do you think a seller is more likely to care about that?
Like it's more personal, like it's.
You bright child.
It's okay.
No, I would love that. I would love if that is it. But no, they think if it's a friend or a family member that they can get a discount on their commission.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna try to cut a deal. Because I can con a friend or a family member into taking that for 1%.
Yes.
Okay. So you'll also learn real quickly, some of the top real estate agents do not take the business from their own family members.
What?
They will refer them to somebody else. Okay. I made this mistake. Let me tell you about that. My in-laws, I love them dearly. I'd like to preface this, I love them dearly. I love my husband dearly. And they are my family, and I will forever cherish that. And I about murdered them about 3 times selling houses. Okay. Because it always came down to, well, if we just had an extra $5,000 back. And I'd go, fine. And I would give up my commission for that. Okay. So keep that in mind, guys. Okay. All right. So let's talk about your technology with your value proposition as well. All right, so being a Keller Williams agent means that it's the essentials. You need to start building your brand and nurturing relationships are available. And Command has the features that can help you do all of that. Don't forget, you've got smart plans in Command. Those are those systems for systematic communication with your customers. All right. I taught a class yesterday on opportunities, and there are update emails that we can send right from our opportunities applet that lets the consumer know exactly where they are in their transaction the entire time and exactly what you're doing. Okay. We have the KW app. So if you're working with buyers, you know what they're looking at, and it shows up in their timeline in your contacts, so you can stay on top of that. Whereas if they're scrolling Zillow, you don't know what they're looking at unless they send you the link. Whereas if they're looking on the KW app, if they favorite something, we know where they're at. And you can start to create collections there too. And it gives you some really cool AI within your contacts. Okay. And don't forget, you also have agent sites where you can feature listings and things like that. Okay. We can create individual property landing pages. Free of charge. Well, I don't say free of charge, you pay an agent bill, so like it all encompassed in your agent bill. Whereas other people, when they take that kind of a listing, that is something they probably have to hire out to have. Okay? So how could you also incorporate this technology into a value proposition?
Helps with with marketing their home,
Mhm.
potentially.
Yeah. Absolutely. You could say something like, with my innovative technology, I meet you where you are. You will never have to guess where you are in a transaction. You'll be able to interact with me through your phone or your laptop, and it's all about convenience for you. Right? Okay. So what were some ahas about this, guys?
Well, try to sum up on this for the beginning, but, the value, there's a lot of pieces that we provide on paper, right? But I think a lot of the value comes from what you believe in yourself and what you put out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think sometimes the things that we think that we've told ourselves are important to them actually are. Right? We put too much pressure on ourselves. We compare our insides to other people's outsides, if you will, right? Not necessary, not necessary to do. Okay. Any other ahas?
I like when you mentioned, the secret sauce of selling a home, like just price, condition, and location.
That those are the three factors that are gonna sell, break or make or break a house every single time. Okay. So if somebody says, my house is not selling, Beth, what can I do? I say to them, well, I can't move it. So the only thing we can do, only thing we can control is we can control the price by bringing it down. And they'll go, oh, I don't wanna do that, right? That's the first thing. I don't wanna do that. I wanna get as much money out of this house as possible. Okay, well, we can change the location, we can change the condition of the house. Then, so if you don't wanna bring the price down, what are we gonna do to the house to add value to it? And they'll, oh, I don't wanna put any work into it. The only thing that you can do is you can control price of the home and the condition of the home. That's it. Okay. So 3 steps to define your value proposition. All right, identify your knowledge, attitudes, skills, and beliefs that make you qualified to be a great real estate agent. Transform the value you provide and the value of KW in your market center into benefits for your clients. And build your value proposition statement. So step 1, your value proposition. Let's identify your knowledge, attitudes, skills, and beliefs that make you qualified. Here's where I'm going to preface this. I've read some really flowery value propositions before. I'm not saying you're liars, but like, what I am saying is like, they need to be aligned with like your true abilities. Okay? Because once again, they'll hold you to what you told them. Okay? So if you can't actually make good on it, you better not say it. Right? And our goal should not be just to meet their expectations because we did exactly what we said we were going to do. Our goal should always be to exceed their expectations and anticipate need and all of those things, right? So I want you to ask yourself and break it down like this. What do I bring to this job? What do I bring to this job? What attitudes am I bringing? What knowledge am I bringing? What skills am I bringing? and frankly, what beliefs am I bringing? Okay. So you're gonna see that there is a chart in your participant guide. It is on page 4.10, I believe. You can start filling those in. Okay, start filling in what knowledge do I bring to this job. Maybe you've got a degree in accounting or law, or like myself, I have a degree in communication. Okay. When I was getting my communication degree, did my parents think it would ever be useful? No. Ha, take that. Right. I was right. Right? Or maybe you've worked in construction, or you've got a background in home building, or maybe you work for the city and you understand codes. I don't know. Right? But that's all knowledge you bring. Or maybe, hear me out, you worked in customer service at any point ever in your life. Believe it or not, that is a huge skill.
So good.
I would hire an agent that was a server at some point faster than I would ever hire an agent that had an accounting background. Because a server can negotiate with someone. A server knows how to anticipate need. A server knows how to make sure that you have the best experience from beginning to end. Right?
A good server.
Yeah.
A good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Or somebody who worked in hospitality. If you worked at a front desk at a hotel, that's the girl I want. That's the guy I want on my team. Because they have absolutely gone toe to toe, nose to nose with somebody over something really, really dumb. Okay. Okay, so what attitudes am I bringing to the job? Maybe you consider yourself caring or confident. Committed? Do you consider yourself a committed person? Honest? Now, when you're thinking about the skills you bring, skills are different than knowledge, right? So, are you a tech whiz? Right? Are you great at problem solving? Once again, I want somebody on my team who can get out of the escape room the fastest.
Let's not play there. It's not play.
Right? That's who I. But if someone told me that, I would feel. In fact, I used to work at Disney for like 10 years before I got into real estate. One of my favorite things to do was look at people's special skills on their resumes when I was hiring. And I saw some of the crazy stuff. But one guy actually had put escape room champion on his resume. And I was like, tell me about this. What do you mean by this? And he said, he goes, I'm a great problem solver. I look for clues. I follow the clues to find a solution. I don't look to other people for help. I do it on my own. And I value efficiency. And all of these, and I'm like, oh my God, you're hired. Right? That's the guy I want on my team. Every time. Okay, escape room champion. And or another skill really is great at negotiating, right? Do you have children under the age of 12 or no children under the age of 12, then you have negotiated. Okay. Once again, a lot of times we tell ourselves, well, I'm a mom, I got these kids at home, and I gotta split my time between this, and people won't hire me. We're telling ourselves these stories, right? People won't hire me because of no. I want that person. I want the person who had to negotiate over whether we had the Uncrustable or the triangle-shaped peanut butter and jelly sandwich in their lunch today and still made it out the door on time. By the way, that was me, hence the peanut butter. Okay.
You wanted the triangle.
Oh yeah, not the Uncrustable, it's already made, not that, doesn't have that. I did have a different shape today.
How old are your kids now?
I have one, he's 9, and it's like having 14 of them.
Gonna say, I'm raising my great niece as a teenager.
Yeah.
And she's actually an excellent child, but she gets sassy, which all teenagers do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, when I leave the room, the decision is made,
Mm-hmm.
and that's that. So when I leave the room, she's like, oh, there you go. Well, yeah, there I went. I don't turn around and go back. I don't, my decision has been made, so I'm not gonna argue about it. But Lord, that child has been blessed with the most argumentative personality.
And here's the thing, and someday she's gonna make a great lawyer,
That's what I tell her.
or she's gonna be a high powered like litigator,
That's what I tell her. I
or
accept.
she's gonna be like a bank robber. Like, we really gotta figure out where that line is and like point her the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah, she will be.
Like that's.
I tell her all the time, you will be a good lawyer. And she's like, I don't want to be a lawyer. And I'm like, well, you don't want to be anything right now, so.
My son, listen,
Seven.
my son is 9, and he is all kinds of intelligent in a way I just never was at that age, right? So it's kind of hard for me to wrap my brain around sometimes. But right now, I make the joke that with his leadership skills and his intelligence, he's either gonna run a Fortune 500 company or a gang in prison, and I just have to like guide where we're going with that,
That's
right?
right, yeah.
That's it.
Teach
All right.
the information.
That's it, that's all we can do. So what did we write down? What did we write down in our books?
What
What
was
was some of
fun
the-
as you talked, when I first started, couldn't think of any,
Okay,
but as you talked, I wrote down a lot.
okay, so what'd you write?
Well, I'm persistent, extroverted, and compassionate.
Oh, what? Persistence is good. That's good
I'm
stuff.
very, very persistent, and I when I was a counselor, my area of expertise was motivations.
Okay,
And so I am very aware of people's motivations and why they do what they do. So, I do that, and then I was in retail management and sales for years. And I've been a resource navigator the last several years.
Mhm.
So I just, as you talked, I'm listening more and more and more, and I'm thinking, wow, I've actually got.
You're pretty good at this stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's great. So I
That's
think it's
right.
good.
You like it? All right, what else you guys ready?
I put down property management experience and I have a communication degree.
Yeah.
Those 2 things.
Very good, very good. So I would actually challenge you to say, what part of your communication degree is gonna provide the most value?
Probably the marketing, cause we did like communication and marketing and I got a
Yeah.
minor in studio arts. So I just really enjoy the art of talking to people and figuring out how to problem solve and help them do that.
Perfect. That's good stuff. That's real value, right? Marketing is real value to people. Okay, what'd you write down, Miss Emily?
I have 15 years of 12 years of hospitality experience and
Which means you got some grit.
right, you know,
Yeah.
and my dad was a contractor growing.
There you go. Yeah. So my dad was also a general contractor when I was growing up. He said that I could drywall before I could ride a bike. Right? And I never thought any of that would be useful to me, right? My family now owns a chain of hardware stores in northern Michigan. And I remember being a kid and having to like work at the hardware store and hating it. And now the fact that I know things about hardware, when I read an inspection report or whatever, I'm like, yeah, that's not supposed to be like that. Right?
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so now that we've identified your knowledge, your attitude, skills, and beliefs, let's talk about step 2. We're going to transform the value you provide and the value that your KW Market Center into beliefs for your clients. Okay, into benefits for your clients. So remember that life experiences can be relevant to real estate, okay? I want you to remember that. So when you're looking at the value that you provide tap into those life experiences, right? Experience you have helping others. Where people have said, wow, thank you so much for that help, it was so great. We've all had that, or we've had a coworker that we worked with that was like, you're my favorite coworker, and it's because. Why were you their favorite coworker to work with? And it's not just the gossip at the water cooler, right? Okay. And think about what the buyers and sellers said were the most important factors. How do we connect those? Right? So when you're meeting with a potential client, you could share all the statistics in the world with them. However, it does not convey the full scope of your value. Right? You can say, yeah, I sell more houses for the highest price, and then that's not the value. Okay? Value's different. But if you say something, I can get you the best sale price for your home through my negotiation skills, right? Because that negotiation is key. So think about the services you offer that have made things happen faster, more convenient, more accurate. And if you go to page 4.11, you should be able to fill that in on the charts there, and it's that as well. Okay. Next, let's go on to step 3. Step 3, we're actually building your value proposition statement here. Okay. The strongest value proposition for your client combines the value you offer, backed by the value of Keller Williams and your market center, and it's centered around your life experiences. Okay. Once again, it's got to be real, it's got to be true, and it's got to be something you can make good on. Don't tell them that you're going to sell their home the fastest. You don't know that you can do that.
Can I just use the example?
Yeah, that's a 4.12. You guys can see that? 4.12. Remember, it's not about perfection, okay? Doesn't have to be perfect. I don't ever expect perfection from anyone. Your value proposition will most likely change. You learn new things, new skills, you take on more knowledge, you gain experience. Okay? And tap into those benefits that we wrote down, right? Hey, how do you feel about it? Got a good draft going? Yeah. You're into it, you find the groove, okay, great, tell me what we got.
Okay, for the color,
Yeah.
I did the network, having over 200,000 agents worldwide for my friends that are moving possible.
That's right, great, it's good stuff. That's definitely part of that value proposition for sure. The way I word that, when, it's part of my value proposition as well, and the way I word that is. No matter where you wanna go. Or who you wanna be near. I have a colleague. Right there, that can help you, no matter where that is. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I don't care if it's France. I can pick up the phone right now. And I could have an agent meet you in France. Okay, or meet your friend in France. Dubai, got it covered. Thailand, done. Denmark, been there, done that.
I can go there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And particularly when we're talking about customers who are international themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously living in Central Florida, I worked with a lot of people who lived in different countries, who were buying property in Florida. And here for the horse industry, it is no different. Okay, people are buying properties here from all over the world. And there are sometimes that how we do real estate business here doesn't translate in the same way it does in their country, right? Real estate is held in a very different way. But if I can pick up the phone and I can call a market center in South Africa and say, hey, team leader, can you connect one of your agents with my customer and have them explain this and compare the two for me, I'd really appreciate it. And they will. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. That is. Mind thought, I'm trying to think that.
Yeah, it really is. And when you start to think about the scope. So an agent I worked with in Florida, he's from Taiwan. Originally, lives in Florida now, he's a great agent there, he's on their ALC, everything, and in 2020. He went to, was it February? End of January 2020, he went to Taiwan to visit his family. His wife and his 2 kids were at home. He was supposed to fly back the second week in March to come back to the United States. What happened? COVID. Ed now was in Taiwan. Ed could not get back to the United States. His wife and his 2 kids were in the United States. He was in Taiwan with his mom and dad. And there was no foreseen time when he knew he was coming back and was going to be able to get back to the United States. So he made the best of it. He connected with KW Taiwan and started making connections for people to buy investment properties in the United States. Ed came back and crushed his next quarter. He goes, really, I've never benefited more from a pandemic, like, it's great, like, you know.
The rest of us suffered, but you know.
Well, and he was away from his kids, he had one that was
Yeah.
3 and one that was like a year and a half
How
old.
old was he though?
He was gone for 6 months. Yeah, till he could get back. Okay, but he made the most of that time. And we had a KW there. He could do the work. So it benefited everybody, right? I mean, except for the whole pandemic part. Right.
Yeah,
Right,
we get it.
exactly. Okay, so everybody feel good about the statements you've written down? You're feeling good about this? You feel like you could articulate this to a consumer and show your particular value? Okay, good stuff. If you liked this, my name is Beth. If you did not like this, my name is Bo, Alright, so there's your people.
I'm trying to get a theater crew. You are hilarious.
Well,
You need to stand up about really fast.
Not everyone finds me quite as funny, so thank you.
A stand-up comedy bit.
My husband is over me completely. So,
We've seen the show too many times.
Yeah.
I'm divorced, but I'm very extroverted.
Mhm,
And my ex-husband was extremely introverted.
mhm.
And about 2 years into marriage, he got over me.
Mhm.
Fast. It was like, you have to talk to everybody.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
my husband's the same way.
I talk to everybody. I tell people I love their smile or how they're dressed. And a lot of times they'll say, I needed to hear that today. So it's something I can give away.
Yeah,
Not
it's free.
costing me anything. It's free to compliment or smile, whatever. And drove him crazy. He said, you just don't need to do that with everybody. You come in contact.
See, my husband is an artist,
Um,
so he is, there's no sense of urgency with anything. I mean, money's just arbitrary. It'll come and go. Well, you know, we lose some, we'll make more. Because it like grows on freaking trees or something, right?
Yeah.
He is a lighting designer, so he travels all the time. A lot of times it's just me and Henry. So it is really funny when he comes home and Henry is like, Dad's driving me nuts. And I'm like, oh, no. It's like, it drives me nuts too. And we love
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
This is my first time doing it. We've out, I haven't been in 2 days.
Yeah.
What do I pick? It says for region.
Oh, for region, you are in the Ohio Valley region.
Oh, okay. that's-
Ohio Valley.
There it is. All right.
But I don't see your name.
Then you're gonna add my name if it's not on there under instructor. Okay? Just select instructor, not in drop down, and then you can type my name. My name is written over there on the board. That's also my phone number. That's also my email address.
Is this? Which Ignite is this?
This is Ignite number 4. Is it 4? Part of session 4? Yeah. Session 4, define your value. Okay. The next year is this is KW Cares. This is part of our value proposition as well that we offer to not just our agents, but also our community. If you guys don't know about KW Cares, it's one of the top 3 reasons why I am a KW agent and I will be for life. Like I said, living in Central Florida, I got to see, I got the privilege to see the impact that KW Cares can have on a community when the unthinkable happens. Hurricane after hurricane, I watched KW Cares come into our community before the Red Cross, before anybody else. And we didn't even have to call them. They called us and said, we've got a semi truck of supplies coming your way. Where do we drop them? It was incredible. After Hurricane Ian decimated Central Florida, a phone call came into us at our Keller Williams Market Center in Orlando that said, we have an entire semi truck of generators coming to you. How do you want us to distribute these for you? You have enough on your plate. It sounds so simple, so meaningless. That one thing changed people's lives. And it wasn't just for our agents could choose to give that generator to a customer or their family member, right? And that's what this is about. So please, if you have it in your heart, please do that. KW Next Gen is about inspiring the next generation of entrepreneurs, not just realtors. Okay. If you don't know anything about KW Next Gen, their mission is to empower and equip the next generation of leaders and entrepreneurs with the tools needed to remove limiting beliefs, take actions, and live a big life. How many of us have heard out of someone's mouth recently, nobody wants to work anymore?
Oh, yeah.
We hear people say that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's crap. People wanna work. They were never taught how. We only know what we're taught or what we see, right? If I'm never taught how to be responsible with my finances, how do I know how to do it? If I'm never taught that I can build a business, that that's plausible for me, how do I know I can do it? That's what this is about. They serve young professionals and entrepreneurs looking to grow personally, professionally, and financially. They teach amazing courses and can do, and even offer scholarships for students. It's great work. So,
That's neat. I mean, in all of it.
okay. So we've still got some time left in class today. We've got about 10 minutes left. So you can partner up if you'd like, practice your value proposition role play, if you will. So practice back and forth with one another in terms of how you're going to articulate this. And I'm going to encourage you to figure out how you make that in like really 30 seconds to a minute. Okay? Articulate your value proposition to someone else in about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Because that's what you have before I decide I don't know what to do. Okay? So partner up, guys. Find partners. Why don't all three of you work together?
Can I ask you a question? How is your name listed in here? Because I'm not finding it.
It's all. Oh, I wouldn't be in there. You probably would just have to go to not listed. And then add me again. Yeah, not. And then you can decide to do it. Let's see, so your browser. We're looking for this provide child right now. Okay, me too.
Another word that would be. I'm on my, that would be, I 2 months ago, but I see 2 months. Oh, no, that's all right. She wants us to control, say, I'm shy. Okay. So I don't, so. This is something. I'm thinking. Say I'm shy. Oh, so yes, now. I'm sorry. I can't stand. I'm running to because I can. For your class. And then. So it's a part of that. So.
Hi, I'm Shadana, how are you? I intend to bring in a little approach for I'm just gonna say that's a one night away. Oh, no.
These guys are first party, you like the person. Yeah. I'll put that organization. Yeah. Yeah, that's why you start, like I was saying right there, we will make fluffy little stop seeing if they're. Yes. There's. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm the fun part.
They sent you a letter, they didn't have one in my address.
Yeah.
Everything's online.
Yes.
Back in 2019, I guess, I contemplated lived in Western Kentucky, contemplated moving to Tennessee. And so I started with, company Diana and Dearborn. I'll, that's not too late, I moved back to Texas, so I had that book.
Okay.
And it goes, there's some of it just a little bit different,
Yeah.
but it does go right along with it.
Okay, cause they wanted my address of this gym. And I thought maybe they sent out a book of the videos.
Yeah, you know, I haven't even watched it, I know they do have videos of the course on it, but I'm just kind of read it and compared.
Yeah.
Everything,
I'm not in my videos yet, we're trying to start them today.
So you are.
Yes, send it as I found it. So this morning is. And actually also created some people with. And I'm set up the choice of separate lines and notes. Interview. So I have. So like right now you talk about your for that. Right. So that communication and then it's right, there are always. But I want to be, what I did is I do 9 to 7. What is that on it? Okay, so that not to you. Then I did, so it's like 2 weeks. We need to do that. It's 2 to 5. It's like six.
You see your answer to the.
Right.
so you did theater, huh?
Did.
Yeah.
Did. I graduated with a bachelor's of fine arts degree from Saginaw Valley State University, Northern Michigan, with concentration in stage management and direction. I also have a bachelor's of behavioral sciences in communication with a concentration in public speaking. And I had a minor in political science. Because everyone should know politics.
I spent about 40+ years in the music business.
Okay. Yeah, my husband's a lighting designer and his best friend is an audio designer. They started a company called D&G Entertainment Design, and they do everything from concerts and music to theme parks and that kind of stuff. But he's working for a company here, is the head of their creative studio. It's a lighting design firm called Sparks Lighting here.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're theater kids for sure.
Yeah, I love music, I just kind of pull my guitar out every once in a while and play.
Yep.
I don't do it for a living anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing is I took a job as a theater teacher for like 1 year. Not as fun when you have to do it, right? More fun when you want to do it. All right, guys. How's your role play going? Yeah? You feel like you can really give the message? Yes. Okay, great. What are some ahas from today? Let's talk about some ahas from today. Whole day. Whole day. From the moment you got up and brushed your teeth. No, I'm just kidding. What were your ahas from today?
Yes.
Put less pressure on yourself, cause even your clients don't have that much pressure on you.
Bing. Correct. Gold star. Okay, who else? Ahas.
Questions that are on us.
Yes.
So we talk to each other here, all of our position, but like, how can we pass this along to clients, to our social media without being like, oh, I'm trustful, or like to make them believe that what we are talking, right? And the first impression counts a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Like how to be more natural without being very like.
Yeah, well,
I'm
I
trustful,
think
because
that,
everybody's gonna say I'm trustful, I'm a,
well, because your value proposition shows up in a lot of different places rather than just what you said. Right? Your value proposition will quickly become a way you do business.
way.
The way you do business.
They're gonna see as.
You're gonna say to them, I'm a trustworthy person, but then you're gonna follow up with that by doing the things you said you were gonna do, when you said you were gonna do them. And then pointing out to them that you did the thing you said you were gonna do when you said you would do it. And showing them that the audio and the visuals are matching,
Yes.
right?
The words that matches your actions, right?
That's right, that's right.
Congruence.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, any other aha? No? Alright, well, you guys know we've got the success system that we've got to focus on as well. So you should be doing 20 minutes of role play every day. If you guys do not know, after Ignite ends, every single like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, there is a half an hour of role play that happens in this room at 9 a.m. Okay, so if you're questioning after Ignite ends, how am I ever going to get this in? Right? Understand that as a member of our productivity coaching program, we offer scripts and role play every morning at 9 a.m. So if you are a dual career agent and you go, Beth, that don't work for me, I can't be there at 9 a.m. I hear you, and let me know. And like I said, if you're a member of my program, I'm happy to share those scripts with you so you can find an external script partner. Okay. Also preparing, that says you should spend 10 minutes preparing a call list for the day. If you are using command, it should not take you 10 minutes. Okay? If you're using command and you're using command correctly, right? You should easily be able to sort the people in your database by the tags that have been created and have a call list nearly immediately. Okay? But once again, you've got to learn to use the technology to set yourself up for success. Okay, so you've got to learn the tags, and once you've put the tags in, you have to use them. Okay? 45 minutes of real play in the real world, making contacts and having conversations. This is 45 minutes a day. If you go, Beth, I don't know how I'm going to get that in every day. We do the workout of the day in this room from 9:30 to 11 every day. And if you're like, what's the workout of the day? Oh, wait, I thought of that already. It's on your productivity coaching Facebook group. I post your workout of the day every single day. Okay? So if you're ever wondering, what should I be doing? Where should I be doing it? And when should I be doing it? Odds are real good. It's here with the people you see around. Okay? You should be spending 30 minutes updating your database. And once again, if you're utilizing command at a high level, this can be happening in real time while you're making the calls. Right? It doesn't have to be 30 separate minutes set aside. It can be 1 minute 30 times. Does that make sense? Okay. So once again, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Okay.
Perspective.
Huh?
Perspective.
Perspective. It's all about perspective. Absolutely. Well, I hope you guys had fun today. I'm flipping through these. Remember, this exists. Don't do that. That's bad. Okay. You scrub the do not call list. What's the do not call list? How do I get on? How do I get in? Do not call.gov. Do not call.gov is your friend. Okay. You would like play-by-play on how to sign up for being able to do things on the do not call list. Please see me after class, and I'm happy to assist. Okay. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in a relationship with me. This is our affirmation going into this weekend. Please take this opportunity. People are stuck in their homes. They have no one to talk to. The snowmageddon is happening. Use this to your advantage. Call people. Make your contacts. Ask them how they're doing. People want to talk to you. People already know, love, and trust you. Why wouldn't they do business with you? Okay? Stop putting it in a perspective that makes it more difficult than it needs to be. Just come from a place of love and caring and wanting to share what you're passionate about. People will work with you. Okay? Now, this says to go and do all those things for 20 minutes, but I'm not gonna tell you to do that, I'm gonna tell you to do that in your own time. Alright, so thank you for listening to me for many hours this morning. I hope you had fun, and I will see you again on Tuesday as your instructor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just turns anymore, so she's more like 14. My call to get a bigger call. And I need a call, it's been, so I don't remark smart things like that, which makes it then I'm nurturing.
Yeah.
So now.
No, yeah.
And that's why to that age.
Yeah, well, and honestly, if Scholar and marketing is actually shared that information videos about how to tag, what to tag, what to tag.
Yeah, she can go something out Walmart.
Stop the Roy marketing. If you go to Stop the Roy marketing and what I like about it, no, play that, you have that playing in the background, so you go to real time doing it.
No.
It's basically them talking.
Because I haven't.
Yeah. Go check it out. I think you're gonna find some really great information in there and you're gonna be able to teach it way better.
Okay, but.
I'm the type of person like I know how to do it and I can kind of show you, but like they're.
The main ones that you can use is because.
So the main thing that I do is my system is I have a VIP tag. And those are people who have transacted with me and referred me someone.
The world revolves around.
Those are my VIP. And those are good, yep. If somebody has just transacted with me, right, they have closed a tag, they'll have a year tag, and they'll have whether they were a buyer or not. Okay,
So, I've had, then I would.
and then I also have priority tags for new leads, right, so I have warm leads
Mom dropped her off.
and hot leads and nurturing. And nurturing.
It's like second lines.
I also have tags for what I call the DTD2 system. And once again, that's if you look at your PC success calendar, I added those letters to the PC success calendar thing. We have 2 letters for you to call each day. So each week,
I love.
there's 2 different letters you're supposed to focus on
And.
within your database. So I just created tags of those letters that they put together. So that I know when it's my week, so for instance, maybe it's like W and M are together, I go to the W and M tag and anybody that I tag that has last name of the W or last name of the M, just those people pop up.
Last names.
Yeah.
Mom is trying
Yeah.
a couple of times, mom's threatening a couple
Yeah.
of times, and I.
That way I'm not just starting at the top of my list and getting only those things done. Okay?
So.
But that is my system, and my system may not be the perfect system for you. Yes.
I'll just stop doing it.
Cause that's how I leave it.
Now.
Also, she's make. Stuff like her, like if I obviously.
Oh,
If I love the people that I know, it's not here in town. If I call them and start updating my system, how can I tag them in their town, but I still wanna get referred, how do you just
They're my child. He doesn't want to jump for the head.
So I can make money, I can make money by getting,
Mom threatens me.
I refer, right? But they want an agent.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know what?
You can say, I have a network worldwide of 200,000 agents.
So he's not.
And, you know, oh, you're moving to Omaha, Nebraska?
Yeah, is there?
I've got a colleague in Omaha, let me reach out to them and I'll have them contact you.
We can negotiate.
That's simple.
We do.
Like, you should talk to my people in Omaha, they're just love you.
We don't.
They're like, oh, you know,
We're by.
sure you know people.
He and I.
And now I go to the referrals platform. And
And
I find, once again, I can sort people in the referrals platform by how many transactions they've closed, whether they're a member of the LP, whether they're in that coaches, whomever, right?
Exactly.
I find some quick feedback, I reach out to that person and say, hey, do you want a referral? 99.9% of the time, they're gonna be like, yeah.
To do that. But
And you go, cool, here's the information, I'm gonna send it to you through command, so I can track it. You just have to accept it, they accept it, and now you can track where that's saved in your transaction in home office.
So we're doing, so.
How much it would be like?
You negotiate that with the person you're referring to. I don't ever do less than 30, so that's because I am that's what's been.
So, I guess you are the one that referring, so you keep like.
I keep 30.
Okay, gotcha.
But she very.
I've done them at 35% before.
When she says consideration is one.
For those.
Yeah. So I had done it, is that I was telling somebody a lead, for the customer had already found the house.
And won't give it to her.
Okay, then all they had to do was write the contract, and it was a new construction. So they weren't even writing the contract, what they were doing is showing up with them while the contract was being written, holding their hand and making them feel good about it. They were gonna have to really have to do anything during the entire time, so I said, well, you're gonna be 35%. Which you did not.
The new build, so it's
Yeah.
punch list.
Yeah.
That's
it. Yeah.
Warranty.
Yeah.
So what,
100%.
ask her, what percentage did you say for referral?
It's negotiable, right? So
So I'm giving her a listing. Here it is, they're gonna list with you.
I mean, there truly is no standard. I do 30%, but I've seen people do it for as much as 40%, 50% to as low as 5%. I think it just depends on how difficult it's gonna be, what the price point's gonna be on it, how much you make, and like I'm sending someone a $3 million listing.
Yeah.
I might only do like 5%, because that's still a big chunk of change to me, and that's gonna be a beast to sell. Yeah, does that make sense?
What numbers?
We do want numbers, and I've got people texting me going, how come you're not on the Zoom call?
So anywhere in the world that can get referral permission, only in Cal Williams network or can be any other network? Okay.
Any. Beth,
Yeah,
can I ask you a question?
yeah,
I just got the scholarship to do Kaplan.
yeah.
And I haven't like joined up and I've started doing Ignite. Should I hold off on Ignite till I finish mine? You think I should?
Do this first.
She's time blocking 9 to 11, and you're free 11 to 2, and then 2 to 5 class. Excited.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I did that the other day. Cause I wasn't adhering to anything and cause I was scattered.
Time blocking is my passion.
So it's really, so I haven't learned anything about time blocking. This was just what I did. I just sit down and